and he showed it tonight. We all know what he's capable of, just based off of practice and stuff. And I think it's just confidence for him. He's been really confident in his shot and playmaking ability too over the past couple of weeks in practice and in games. So that's like a huge factor for him, I think.
You've been with Luke all 3 years, but it seems like this year he's really taken a step forward with his increased role and minutes. 14 rebounds tonight. I mean, what have you been so impressed with about Luke so far these last couple weeks, especially?
Yeah, just his grit and his competitiveness. Once again, it's the same deal. His confidence rose in the past couple months. I know he can shoot. We all know he can shoot, and that he's great on the glass. So it's no surprise to us, really. But it's great that he can step out there on the court and actually show it on when the lights are on.
Ethan, Tristan said that confidence played a role tonight from your big game, season high points for you. Overall, what was working for you guys, and why was the three-point shot so good tonight?
I think, a lot of it is confidence. I think we're also getting the ball moved really fast. It's getting to multiple sides, a lot of possessions. And when you move the ball a lot, those shots tend to go in as opposed to when it's stagnant on offense. And I think that we're just happy playing in March. We're playing for each other. We're playing unselfish and making that one more pass and looking for the next guy. And everybody's confident in each other. And when you're playing like that, the shots tend to go in.
Ethan, you've had a good run here the last couple of weeks. I've talked to you about this a little bit in Las Vegas. But how much tonight was just maybe a guy in yourself that doesn't want to stop playing just yet?
Yeah, well, we don't want to stop. For me and Jalen, this could have been our last game, and I think we played like it. And all the guys are the same way. They want to be playing. It could be their last game of the season, and that's kind of the mindset we have. And as I said, we're just really lucky to be playing in March, so we're going to take that seriously.
This is for either of you guys, but when you're playing in the Pac-12, you play multiple teams twice. You have a decent amount of time to prepare for these teams. But then with the NIT, what makes it different having a Big East team come in here, short amount of notice? Like, what was the preparation like for that?
I mean, it's quick. I think it really comes down to just our principles on defense and offense. Basketball is a simple game. We know how to play it. So obviously we can scout as much as we can. I think we only got one practice in before the game today, but it's just about playing together on defense and offense, and we know what we have to do to win in every game. So obviously you got to adjust the little things, but I think we're just trying to be ourselves.
Tristan, Seton Hall, one of the best defenses in the Big East, and came in here really like a Ken Pom. You two were both neck and neck, and adjusted defensive efficiency for the season right around 21, 22. What makes their defense so tough? What was the challenge for you guys tonight to execute on the offensive end?
Yeah, I feel like they're pretty strong. You know what I'm saying? They're a tough guy. They're a tough group. They're a tough group. They got a lot of grit, and I feel like they pride themselves on defense too. And they got a couple of rim protectors there too, with the 4-man and the 5-man, and and like their one-on-one defense is pretty good too, so that makes it easy.
Tristan, on the game-winning play, did you guys get a sense that maybe they would expect you guys to hold for the final shot? Because there's only about a 1.3-second difference between shot and game clock. Were you guys maybe trying to take advantage of that and get a quick look, or was it just you guys had a play drawn up and try to get whatever look you got out of it?
Yeah, we just had a play drawn out. Coach kind of emphasized looking at the first option that we had to, and not just trying to run through the end of the play and then see what we have at the end. So we took that chance, and it worked out well for us.
Anything else for the players?
Ethan, did you and Jalen have any friendly wager over Princeton Yale the other day in the Ivy League championship?
I don't know about a friendly wager, but we definitely watched together, and we were talking a lot of smack to each other for sure.
Was there another one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was going to say.
Okay, good job. All right. Pat, you gonna make your deadline?
No, we just, we bagged it from the get-go, so I'm good.
I figured.
It was just thinking the deadline for a night.
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
Maybe tomorrow.
Most of the rest of you guys don't have to worry about that.
Okay, everybody, Coach Boyle's here. We'll go ahead and open it up for questions. Or we'll go ahead and start with an opening statement and open it up for questions.
Great win. You know, March victories are hard to come by, whether you're playing at home in the NIT or neutral floors in the NCAA tournament. On the road in the NIT, we knew it was going to be a battle. Seton Hall's a tough team with tough kids and a tough coach, and you know they're seniors, they're juniors, they're really mature players, and we knew they weren't going to go away, and they didn't. It was appropriate that we won that game on a stop because that's what we pride ourselves on defensively, and we weren't at our best. You know, they were down, their point guard. We were down one of our point guards. But I thought, you know, Julian Hammond played a really good game. Ethan Wright was terrific off the bench. And Luke O'Brien, you know, 14 rebounds. I mean, he gave us great energy. And I knew going into this game we were going to have to play a little bit of zone, especially if we got in foul trouble, which we did. And it was okay, but it's just a good win. I mean, anytime you win in March, it's a good win.
How important and how nice was it for you to see Ethan have, you know, his season high tonight?
Yeah.
Just seems to be playing his best basketball at this point of the year.
Absolutely, yeah. And he's getting extended minutes, which helps him, and you know he's in a rhythm. He's playing with confidence. Ethan's a good player, and you know when I look at that stat line, it's like that's the player that we recruited from Princeton. You know what I mean? Like he only takes 9 shots, but he's 4 for 6 from 3. He's 4 for 4 from the line. He'd get 5 rebounds. He's just a rock solid effort, and really happy for him. Happy for Jalen, our 2 seniors. I want this thing to last as long as it can for those 2 guys because this is their last hurrah.
You mentioned Luke's game.
Yeah.
He had a play near here at the end. He got the defensive rebound.
Yep.
And had the 2 offensive rebounds with the tip in.
Yep.
Does somebody that sequence maybe exemplify how far he's come this season?
He just keeps battling. You know, Luke's a battler, and he didn't finish tonight like he's capable of finishing, but he finished that play that you're talking about because he kept battling, and that's what Luke does. What I don't like is when Luke puts his head down and, you know, gets down on himself because that's the old Luke O'Brien. The new Luke O'Brien is the one that just plays through and, you know, hey, it's not going to be perfect all the time, but you just keep battling, and that's what Luke has done. And you know, I look at the growth he has had, and I look at the growth Julian has had as a result of Javon Hadley's injury and as a result of KJ Simpson's situation. Both those kids have just really come into their own here, and I'm happy for both of them, and I'm proud as heck of both of them.
You mentioned Julian, obviously gets the game-winning layup there at the end, but also 5 assists, only 1 turnover in 37 minutes. It seems like even with the increased minutes, he's really taking control of the offense and playing within himself.
He is. He's playing within himself. Had a couple, there was 1 turnover. One that wasn't a turnover there at the end, thank God. We got a jump ball and the arrow was ours. But, for just a couple of mental kind of lapses there. But, again, when you play 37 minutes, he's got a lot of pressure on him. He's got a lot on his shoulders, and he's handling it really well. So I'm proud of Julian because that's not an easy position to be in when the ball's in your hands and you got to make decisions. You're the quarterback, and that's what he used to play quarterback in football, so he's used to that. But he's handled it really well. He's playing heavy minutes, obviously, because he's our main guy.
You guys have worked really well from 3, but just what kind of challenges did Seton Hall present defensively?
They're physical. They're well coached. They're well schooled. They don't give you anything easy. You have to earn everything. We talked before this game, from an offensive standpoint going against Seton Hall's defense, it's much like UCLA. They're physical. They're going to reach. They're going to grab. They're going to, just nothing comes easy. They got good shot blockers. You have to score baskets. You have to finish in the paint. You have to, when you get an open shot, you got to be able to knock it down. And we were able to knock just enough of them down tonight. But they're a very good defensive team, much like UCLA is. They're not, UCLA's number 1 in the country. I think they're 22 or 23. We're 22 or 23. I forget who's higher, but we're right there with Seton Hall. And that's why I say it was appropriate we won that game with a defensive stop. And we executed. You know, we talked about, hey, we need a score and a stop to win this game, and we got a score and a stop.
It was a tough night shooting for Tristan maybe on that point. Only 5-16, but 3 of 6 from three-point land. But he still finished as the second highest scorer on the team. What does that say about, even though he had an off night, he still got the ability? And
the thing I've really complimented Tristan on all year long is his efficiency. And look, he took 16 shots and he scored 15 points. That's nothing to write home about. So Tristan will be the first one to admit that. But you know, he made just enough threes there. He made his 3 threes came in the second half. We needed every single one of them. But you know, he didn't finish like he's capable of finishing. Tristan knows that. Luke didn't finish tonight like he's capable of finishing. He knows that. So that's why I say when you win a game in March and you don't play your best basketball on offense, it says something about your grit and your toughness. And we showed enough of that tonight. But Tristan, look, 15 points is 15 points. But you know, he normally gets 15 points on 7 or 8 shots.
Luke, so Lawson got in some foul trouble tonight.
Yes.
But it didn't seem to matter all that much. You guys still won the rebound battle because of Luke O'Brien's 14 rebounds.
Yeah.
How confident are you going to this like somewhat smaller ball where Luke's maybe playing the 5?
We're fine with it. It was very difficult with Samuels because Samuels is a legit low post scorer, and he hurt us tonight. You know, but Luke did a great job fronting him down the stretch. You know, he was scoring on Tristan kind of at will. And Tristan wasn't getting much help from our weak side, which, you know, we switched Luke on him, and Luke did a good job because we want, when the ball comes into Samuels from the perimeter to the post, we want it to be a lob pass so we can get our weak side help there and create a double team. And we did that a couple times down the stretch, forced 1 turnover, forced a couple missed shots. Luke was critical in that, you know, those sequences. So, I got a lot of confidence in him, and again, I just keep going back to he's a battler. He just battles, you know, and so I'm fine with our small lineup. Obviously, Lawson, we're better with him in there. Lawson wasn't his best tonight, defensively or offensively, but he was good enough, and we played good enough to win. And in March, sometimes that's all you have to do, and it's whether you win by 1 or win by 20, it doesn't matter. You survive and you advance, and we live to see another day.
Coach, if you could, take me through that last play call in the bucket to Julian and what you're seeing or thinking that makes you.
Well, it's a play that we've run before, but you know, every play that we have, you know, usually has 2 to 3, maybe 4 options out of the play. Okay, that first option, the back screen, you know, from Luke. Usually it's Lawson. Luke. We went with the small ball lineup in there at the end. Lawson had 4 fouls. But we said in the timeout, look, you know, Luke, set a good solid back screen, and Jalen, give Julian a look. If he's open, give it to him. He's got a layup because the weak side won't be there. Now, if he didn't get that, he was going to set a flex cut for Tristan. We're going to try to post Tristan and bring Julian off a stagger because we had 29 seconds. So Jalen made a gutsy play and a gutsy pass, and Julian made a good catch and a good finish. And so that was just the first option off of a play that had 2 or 3 options. And I'm glad we talked about it, you know, at the timeout, and we just said we need a score and we need a stop to win this game. We got our score, and then we came down and got our stop.
I know, you know, Tristan, Luke, and Nick were here 2 years ago when you guys made the NCAA tournament, but this is really the first postseason win for this group with, you know, playing increased minutes. Obviously, last year you guys lose here in the first round of the NIT. How valuable is this win tonight for the group next season, and for however long you're able to take this run?
Well, you know, hopefully we can get on a run here and use it as a springboard because, again, that's what the NIT can do for you, especially when you have a young team. Obviously, Ethan and Jalen won't be back next year, but everybody else is playing. Hopefully will be, and if they're not, they're not. But, I mean, you never know in today's world who's coming back and who's not. But it can be a springboard for these young players to going into next year because, again, you know, we're playing out without Javon Hadley. We're playing without K.J. Simpson. We're playing without Javon Ruffin. We're playing, you know, we're down some guys that are good players. So it's huge. This experience is invaluable for these young guys.
Does the extra time open the door at all for KJ to come back later in the week?
I'm not not optimistic on that, given the tests that came back today. So, not optimistic.
Okay, answer, Coach.
Talked about toughness all year. How much have you seen that develop in this team? Just are you satisfied where they're at now?
Yeah, I thought we showed great grit and toughness tonight. I really did. And, I felt, and Coach Ray mentioned this, in the locker room after the game, even in our huddles when things weren't going well, and because we were not at our best tonight. We did not play our best basketball, and we found a way to win. But what I liked is our guys were encouraging each other. They were supporting each other. They were playing for each other. And we made enough plays down the stretch to win that game. And when your team does that and your players do that, it makes you feel good as a coach. And, again, the difference between winning and losing is a very, very fine line. But the way we feel versus the way Seton Hall feels, it might as well be like the Grand Canyon, the difference being on the rim versus being down below. I mean, it's a wide chasm, but that's just the way sports is. Thank you.